Good afternoon, Pastor Dean Melchior, Crossroads Church of Franklin Lakes, and a quick recap video on Daniel chapter 3, the text that we examined on Sunday and studied and brought out, and titled the message, Through the Fire. Interesting chapter where Daniel's not even in the scene, traveling, who knows exactly what, we're not told, but the three friends of his going through a trial, but demonstrating they're men of resolute faith. Let's read a couple of key verses from that chapter, verses 17 and 18. If this be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of your hand, O king. But if not, be it known to you, O king, that we will not serve your gods or worship the golden image that you have set up. Chapter 1, we saw heathen customs judged. Their practice of fine foods and presumably foods that may have been offered to idols or otherwise unclean for Hebrews. Daniel and his friends rejected and requested alternate food, and by a miracle, because that food wasn't necessarily nutritionally inferior, by a miracle they were clearly better off after they abstained from that food. Chapter 2, heathen philosophy is judged. All the wisest, smartest couldn't give the dream or the interpretation, but God gave the dream to Daniel, and he gave the correct interpretation by God's power. And then in this chapter 3, heathen pride is judged. A miracle is accomplished, and the three are preserved through the fire. Amazing. Commit ahead of time to what you will do. We need to do that. We need to be resolute, and before the challenge comes, know what we commit to do. To trust God most of all, to honor him, to not disappoint him, and that applies to our life in many areas. Things that are questionable, perhaps, about use of alcohol. The Bible commands not to be drunk, but what about using it all? What are you going to do? What about your friends? Choosing friends who is really good for you or not good for you in your life? What about relationships with the other sex? Again, the Bible is very clear about many of those things, but maybe there's questionable matters. Just commit ahead of time to what you would do, that you'll honor God and trust him. God will be with you and bring you through trials. Sometimes he'll prevent the harm from coming. Sometimes he'll have us go through it and preserve. And sometimes he'll allow us to suffer some loss. But we need to trust him that it'll be for our good, and he knows what we need. How is our heart attitude? We talked about that. All that bowing down, was that worship? I don't think so. They knew what the consequences of not bowing down to that image that Nebuchadnezzar set up. How about when we lift our voices and we go about going to church, about our daily lives? What is our heart attitude? God sees the heart. We should act like that and think that we need to please him from our heart attitude, not just our outward actions. Both are what we need to do. And then finally, I asked us to consider and continue to think about what if? What if God won't remove this trial, remove this problem in our life? Will we trust him? We need to. We need to realize that he's good. I need to keep remembering that. Looking forward to going into Daniel chapter 4 on Sunday. Hope you can come out after the July 4th holiday. I'm Pastor Dean Melchior, Crossroads Church of Franklin Lakes. We're better together. See you soon. Thank you.